my name is Meredith Oram. I am a fitness and nutrition consultant at BelowTheFork.com. I am also a certified group fitness instructor, and I am currently working on my certification to be a health coach. I also am a digital marketer. I was in the agency world for the better part of a decade, but ultimately decided corporate America was not for me. So I left mainly to become a stay-at-home mom, but ended up merging all my passions together, fitness, nutrition, and social media, and here I am today. So I wanted to talk today about why your why is everything in everything you do. It truly is, because you need to have, oh, awesome, yay, thank you so much. That's exciting, because you put stuff out there and it's kind of like, I see people like open the email, so that was one like positive, but then to actually have read it, I really appreciate it. Hey Natalia, hey Jenny, thank you guys so much for joining. Hey. All right, so let's just launch right into it. Why your why is everything in everything you do. So I wanted to talk a lot today about internal versus external motivation. So just to kind of define what those differences are, external is when someone else is motivating you, when, and maybe this is a bad example, but I actually think it's the most, is the easiest one. Think of an intervention. Someone who has a drinking problem, and if their family holds an intervention and they are not ready to admit they have a problem or move forward or change their life, they're not going to react well to it. Or they'll go through the motions of rehab, and then when they get out, they end up going back to their old habits because they themselves were not ready to make the change. And I also, on a much smaller level, I kind of stack external motivators as, and believe me, I love quotes. I'm a quote girl, but all those things on Instagram about like, don't forget to be awesome today and kick butt, like those are fun, like spunky motivators, but that's not, most of those are not life-changing or really pushing people to completely change their lives. Other external motivators would be, oh, it's January 1st, I'm going to change my life because I need to make a New Year's resolution. That is why so often, did you know that out of everyone who makes a New Year's resolution, and some are fitness, some are not, some are other things, but only 8% keep to it. And so that's why we have a big influx in the gyms in January, and then by Valentine's Day, it's back to normal crowds. So that is external motivators. Someone else is telling you, hey, you should do this, or, oh, I'm offering a discount, so join my new fitness program, and it's a 12-week boot camp, and we're going to do all this, and maybe you're going to win something. Even rewards, and please know when I'm saying this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just your chances of success are smaller. There are people who all of these things, that's going to be the motivator, but more likely than not, the reason they are is because they've already decided themselves internally, their motivator is they're sick of the life they're living. They are disgusted with themselves. They have already made the decision that they need to change. So yes, when you have someone like that, the rewards and everything are something that helps them along their journey, but know that they already made that decision internally to make a change. They've made that decision. It's not someone saying, hey, or even like doctors and stuff saying, hey, you need to lose weight for your health. That's not always a motivator. That's why people like me exist. We're all talking about, sometimes it feels on social media I'm isolated and that everyone is all like, yay, eating clean, but it's because that's the people I follow on Instagram. And I'm like, wait, get out of the bubble. There's a reason why it's like, don't quote me on the statistic, but like 64% I think of our country is considered obese. Because even though the education is in front of them, if they're not willing to make that decision for themselves, they're not going to be successful. And so when it comes to also the strength of your why is very important. So let's just say, you've internally decided you're ready to make a change. So we're talking about internal motivation, the best motivation there is. But the strength of the why still needs to be very strong, because that is what's going to keep you going. Now, I've shared before that I used to be a Jamboree consultant, and that it did not go well. I did not expect it to go well because my why for becoming a consultant was to get a discount on the product. That is the worst why ever. And I knew that, and I didn't expect to be successful. I did have some beginning success. As a total, I made like $650, which, you know, I'll take $650 any day with doing minimal work. I would like sit on my computer and did a little like couple Facebook parties. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad investment, but as in terms of like making that my business and my life passion, I held my weight at a good place for many, many years, lost my motivation. Yes. And that happens a lot too. As moms, we are just always seem to put ourselves last, and it's just finding that time. And I'm going to be honest, I went to the gym today. I worked there too, and I had to make do a couple work related things, and I had the intention to work out. I was dressed the part, but I'm so exhausted. I just sat in the cafe and drank coffee. And you know what? For me today, that was a better choice for my health than actually putting in less inspired workout. It would have just been a waste of time, and it would have exhausted me more. So yeah, you got to think about your health in that regard too. So yeah, so Jamberry was a huge fail for me, which is fine. Like they actually like just booted me as a consultant. Like, sorry lady, you didn't make enough sales, peace. So it was fine though. Sometimes coffee really is the better choice, and today, believe me, it was. I'm also rocking, what is this? Plant Therapy. Can you see that? It's backwards for me, but I think it's right for you. Plant Therapy Energy Synergy. I just put it on my wrist and the bottom of my feet because I know I'm going to be sitting here for a while, because after I get off with you guys, I have studying and stuff to do on my website. And it helps. It does work. It really does. I really believe in essential oils, and I really recommend this. And Plant Therapy. I know everyone talks about doTERRA and Young Living. They're awesome companies. They really are. But if the whole thing that's holding you back is the prices of those, try planttherapy.com. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just think their products are awesome. They're appropriately priced, and they're just of the same quality as the other two leading brands. And I think one of the reasons they are cheaper is because they're not an MLM, they're direct. And so they don't have to hike up the prices because they're not paying like 80 people in the multi-level marketing. But anyway, off topic. So Jamberry was a fail because I just, I didn't have a strong why. Now, when it comes to Below the Fork and now going through, my health coach certification, I am so passionate about health and nutrition. And one of the problems with Jamberry too was not only was my why weak, but I also didn't feel comfortable selling it because I'm not really a salesperson. When it comes to fitness and nutrition, I don't feel like I'm selling because it's just the reality of life that we need to take care of ourselves. So I feel like I'm just giving important information versus, hey, make your nails pretty. So that just wasn't for me. So one of the reasons, I always like to say this, why I come up with these topics. So today the topic was inspired, one, because this is a huge section in my health coach manual right now, the chapter I'm in. So I'm like, oh, it's really good. And I wanted to share that with the internal versus external. But also too, things, and I'm a believer, so I feel like God puts things in our path to teach us lessons and such. I am also a manager at this health and fitness facility where I'm also a group fitness instructor, but I work there 2 nights a week as a manager. And usually I like my job, but I've been working a lot more shifts than usual the past 2 weeks because one of the other managers had to have emergency gallbladder surgery, so I was like covering for her a bunch. And it just really emphasized, again, I won't go into detail about things that have happened, but just, I don't want to work for someone else again. I just want to work for me. I am sick of the BS. I am sick of just the favoritism and all of that. And so these moments keep happening, just reminding me of my why. And I think when your why is strong enough, you're not only looking for ways for it to be strengthened in what you're going through, but you're also you're looking for that strength because you know it's so important and you're just focused on it that you interpret things differently and apply it to your why. So I could have just been like, it was a sucky week at work, whatever. But I'm like, no, this is emphasis once again that I don't want to deal with upper management people. I will teach group fitness forever. I love it. But it's such I go in, I teach my class, I only interact with my students. I don't have to deal with upper management and all the tape and all that and the miscommunication and everything. I'm there very minimally. When I'm in it, it's just too much. So, that's how my why gets strengthened, and it's all internal motivation. And I think too, there's the financial element of it too, but that can sometimes be in that gray area of sort of being external too, because on paper, and I look at the finances, I'm like, oh man, like I really need to increase my income. And that can be a strong why too, but I think we need to look deeper into ourselves for what our why truly is, because sometimes money, for some people, I think money is a huge motivator. I'm like kind of on the brink of that because I want to be able to pay my bills, and I shared yesterday that like my goal for 2016 is my son's on scholarship at his school, and I want to be able to write them a big check at the end of the year and be like, here's towards a scholarship for another child, and pay my other son's full tuition next year when he goes there. So money kind of, but ultimately that is not my biggest motivator. My biggest motivator is wanting to help others change their lives and personal fulfillment, because I did the money thing. I made a lot of money when I was in digital marketing. I was a senior account manager. Like, they paid me very well. I walked away from a big salary, and that for me, one, was humbling, but also made me realize that money is not my motivator. So think about it for you, whether I think it could honestly be an internal motivator for some people, and that's okay. But for a lot of us, I think we think it's an internal one, but for most of us, it's actually an external motivation. It's true, because you have to be passionate about what you do. I was a miserable person, honestly, when I worked in an agency. I was working 60 plus hours a week. I was tethered to my phone and email and client demands and needing to do things at all sorts of hours because we did online ads. And so when a website went down and an ad broke at 1 a.m., like, I had to do it then. And it was fine before my kids came around. Exactly. So money, I think a lot of time is an external motivator. But I do believe there are a few, probably like 2% of people where it's the internal. Though, you know what, it'd be interesting if they really took the time to think about it. It might not actually be, because how often do we see, not to like make stereotypes, because there are some who like do good with their money, but there are others where they are, what's that phrase, like all the money but feeling lonely, like in a crowded room, or what, I think I'm merging like three together, but you all know what I'm saying. So anyway, that's my little scope for today, and just being able to develop your why to include both internal and external motivators, but mainly internal, because that's what's going to keep burning the fire under your butt to keep going, and looking out for these moments like, my kind of hellish week this week at work in my regular job, and just knowing like I'm done. I mean, it on the level compared to when I was at the agency world, it's like this much stress. But it's still like, ain't nobody got time for that. So I'd rather work for myself. So that's my why, and I feel like it just continues to strengthen every day. So I hope your why is very strong. And so I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I usually don't scope on the weekends, though we are going to Longwood Gardens on Sunday. So I might do a little scope there, just because it's so beautiful, and they have these huge displays. If you don't know what Longwood Gardens is, definitely look up their website, because it is, it's amazing, and we're very fortunate to live nearby that we can go there, and we're actually members. So I might scope from there, but otherwise I'm not on here on the weekends because that's my family time. So anyway, have an awesome weekend, and I hope you do something holiday-y, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much.